In this super review, we're going to take a look at the HE150 Pro Audiophile Earbuds. All right, I'm kind of hooked on these cheap audiophile friendly headphones, and this is another pair. The HE150 Pro is an earbud style headphone that is maybe similar to like the earbuds that you would get with an iPhone or a typical Android phone, right? You can pick these up on eBay for about 30 bucks. And that was cheap enough that I figured I would check them out. So let's go ahead and open them up, and then I'm gonna give them a listening test and I'll let you know what I think. So here we got the HE150 Pro. It comes in a very simple and understated box, which frankly I'm okay with. This is a budget headphone that ostensibly serves audiophiles, and if they can save any money on the packaging to make it so that the earbud itself is better, all right, I'm on board with that. There are no specs to go off of on this. There is really nothing for me to talk about, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up. So as expected, inside the box of the HE150 Pro, there's not a ton. It does come with a nice little hard shell carrying case, that's a nice little touch. And it's got a little pocket in here so that you can store the spare foam covers. It's interesting that it came with all these foam covers. To be frank, I didn't expect this. I'm interested to see if these are comfortable without the foam covers, and then I want to try them with and without the foam covers. Interestingly, some of these foam covers have holes that go all the way through them, and I imagine that they might actually have some impact on the audio quality or on the sound signature that comes through. I know with a lot of other headphones, like Grados especially, people love to modify the foam pads that come on headphones, including, cutting holes in them. And so it's a nice little touch that they threw in, not just extra sets of these foam covers, but some that already had the holes pre-cut. Now the headset itself is very small, very lightweight, and it's kind of nice. I think this housing appears to be metal. The build on this is not bad. This cable, it's got this nice wound sort of braided style, and it terminates in a nice simple straight plug, which is exactly what I like. The branding is very minimal. I think it is a very understated headset, and for my taste, this is really awesome looking. I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up to my Walkman and we'll see how it sounds. I'm gonna start by not putting any foam pads on these just to see what the comfort's like and what do they sound like without any foam. I'll say this right now, the fit in my ear is very loose. They just kind of drop in place. They don't feel very secure, so maybe the foam pads, I might need them for my ears. All right, I'm gonna put the pads on there because frankly, they sound a little thin. All right, so I've been listening to the HE150 Pros for a bit, and I've got some things to report. These things are really actually quite nice. These earbuds have a really nice, clean sound. It's maybe a little bit thin, especially in the mid-range for my taste. I like a nice meaty mid-range, and the sound signature's got a slight V shape to it. And that just means that the highs are slightly accentuated, and then the sub bass is slightly accentuated, but not the rest of the bass. But that's actually kind of a nice little surprise with these headphones, because the sub bass being there, frankly, I didn't expect it to have a significant amount of sub bass, but you can feel it, right? And the sub bass is just that part of the bass where you kind of feel it rumble, but you don't necessarily hear it. The rest of the bass where you're gonna be hearing your big thumps and stuff like that, not accentuated at all on these. And so it just kind of makes for a nice even sounding headphone. Some things to note about these is that because of the design, it's an earbud with a slight open back design. Because of that, they do bleed sound pretty significantly. If you are listening to these loudly, it's a good chance that the people around you are going to be able to hear it as well. So maybe not great for an office environment, but I think excellent for walking around the streets. Personally, I like headphones where I can still hear my environment. For me, that's a good thing. I like headphones that do that. I like to be able to hear my environment while I'm walking around listening to music, and this is a great headphone to do that. I think that also gives it sort of a spacious, airy sound, at least relative to other earbuds. These don't sound They don't have quite the sound stage of something like the Koss KSC 75s, which is an on-ear, it's not an in-ear, it's an on-ear headphone. But these are, you know, they're fairly comparable, which I think is pretty impressive for a little headset like this. I saw someone on the internet, and the internet is where all truths come from. I saw someone on the internet recommend that not only to wear these headphones with the foam over the top of them, but to actually double up on the foam. And so I did it. And I gotta say, I like it. Having double layers of foam on this seems a little goofy, but I mentioned that the sound on these is a little bit thin, but I think adding that extra foam is just kind of making the fit inside the ear a little bit better, and it's filling out that sound just a little bit. And then the last thing to talk about with these headphones is the build quality is really surprisingly nice. All metal housings, this cable is really quite plush for a headphone that you get for 30 bucks. I wish all of my $30 headphones had this cable. And even this terminal here is surrounded in metal, which is a nice touch. And it's got a nice little rubber grommet here just to give you a little bit of strain relief on the end of the cord. So if I were to score the HE150 Pros, frankly, I'd give these 5 stars out of 5. These things live up to my expectations. They sound great, the build quality is great, the price is totally right. Yeah, 5 stars out of 5. I'd recommend them. If you're interested in looking at the HE150 Pros on Amazon, unfortunately, I could not find them on Amazon, but they are all over the place on eBay. I will have a link down below to eBay if you want to check them out there. You can also find them, I think, on AliExpress if that's a place where you shop. If you're cool with eBay though, find the link down in the description below while you're down there. Go and hit that like button. You can subscribe to the channel, and then I'll see you on the next super review.